So we are live, and I am experiencing technical difficulties. Good. Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on where you are in the world and when you're watching. I want to welcome you to Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays. I am Clara Lyons-DeVaughn, and I'm the broker owner of Lyonsview Realty. We provide residential, commercial for small businesses and nonprofits, and property management services. We also have resources for real estate pre-licensing, continuing education classes, homebuyer financing, down payment and closing cost assistance, homeowner distressed housing solutions, and health and wealth education and coaching. I want to thank you for tuning in to Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays broadcast. Please subscribe to Facebook or YouTube, and you can like and share this broadcast with others. You can find additional Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays content on Facebook and YouTube at Clara Lyons-DeVaughn, and get connected through bit.ly Lyonsview Lifestyle. So Lyonsview Realty, as you know, is committed to ensuring that you have the resources, the information, and the tips to assist you in making the best financial decisions to maximize your wealth building power now and in the future. So we are here to help you stay current on trends that impact your bottom line. I want to thank you again for tuning in today. And some of you may or may not know that April is National Financial Literacy Month. The U.S. Congress designated April as National Financial Literacy Month. And so our goal is this month is to help raise awareness about the importance of financial literacy education. According to the Financial Literacy and Education Commission, there are 5 key components of financial literacy, and they are earn, spend, save and invest, borrow and protect. I'll say those again. Earn, spend, save and invest, borrow and protect. And most people wait way too long before beginning to assess and plan for their financial situation. So what does that do? It may leave you unprepared to address the day-to-day basic living expenses with your current or your saved income. And this lack of planning may also put you at a disadvantage to put your hands on funds needed for an emergency if it were to arise. So planning to be able to cover today's expenses in the future, beginning as soon as possible, is necessary. So I'm very excited to bring you today's guest, who has a passion for helping others, and retirement planning is fulfillment of his passion. He works diligently and methodically with his clients to develop goals and solutions for a sustainable financial future. So help me welcome today Mr. Daniel Sharpe of Sharpe Financial. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Ms. Lyons. How are you doing today? Thank you for having me.
We're having a little bit of a delay, so maybe a minute before he hears me. Awesome. Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been in the financial services business. I first got licensed back in 1983. I stumbled onto, literally by accident, how to buy real estate, believe it or not, with nothing down. I had gone to a real estate seminar in Cherry Hill, heard crazy stuff. I do have a degree from Rutgers University in accounting, played basketball for them back in the day. But I went to this real estate seminar, heard crazy stuff. But the way I'm wired is, if we've been taught if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. When the reality should be, if something sounds too good to be true, check it out to see if it is, because the legitimate opportunities just look exactly like the scams. So a year and a half after attending this real estate seminar, I owned multiple properties in Willingboro, New Jersey, where I grew up, with nothing out of my pocket. that made me say to myself, what else do wealthy people know that I don't know? They're not more intelligent than me. They just exposed to information that I hadn't been exposed to. And my reading took me into learning things that all of us need to know as soon as we know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. How money works. The rule of 72. Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and they don't teach us these things. So I decided at that point in time that what I want to do was educate. And I've basically been in that business ever since. I put 2 sons through college investing in the stock market. But as my clients have gotten older with me, I tend to steer them to investments that will not put their hard-earned assets at risk. I am a full-fledged financial advisor, so I can cover virtually anything. And what I don't know personally, I have experts in those areas. Right? So I have an enrolled agent. Most people have never heard of an enrolled agent. They're better than CPAs. Right? I have an estate planning attorney that I work with when my clients have those needs. So as Ms. Lyons said, my passion is educating, making our money work for us, not for the financial institutions. Not sure we're still on here, but personal financial planning begins as soon as you start working. Living below your means, paying yourself first, really understanding how powerful.
Yeah, you're still live.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure Ms. Lyons can hear me. I will just go into some of the things I wanted to kind of convey today. Financial literacy. Again, as I said before, they should be teaching us some of these things as early as junior high school. Now, not everybody goes to college. So we need to be armed financially in a very difficult world out there to fend for ourselves in this regard. So having some semblance of education in this area just helps us make better financial decisions along the way. The number one I found over the last 30 years, the number one thing that my clients have all in common is they pay themselves first. Now we may have heard that before, but paying yourself first means you pay your mortgage, you pay your utilities, you pay your cell phone bill, your car phone bill, any debts you have, and if there's any money left at the end of the month, you might save it. That needs to be reversed, right? The goal used to be saving 10% of our gross pay. That was back in the day when everybody had a pension. Now the rule of thumb is saving 15 to 20%. Because most of us these days don't have pensions anymore. If you're under the age of 55, We don't know when you'll be able to access Social Security and how much that benefit will be. So you're on your own. I've told my sons, they're 36 and 31. If you don't send money ahead, it won't be there. Right? One of the first things that needs to happen is you should create a budget. Know what's going out, where it's going. And there's two basic categories. First category is basic living necessity items. You got to pay your rent and mortgage. Got to turn your lights on. Got to turn your TV on. Got to turn your cell phone on. Got to pay your car note or your car insurance. Right? Got to go grocery shopping. Those are examples of necessities. Then you have discretionary spending. Monies that you spend, but you might not have to. And that would include things like dining out. Okay, gym memberships. All right. Gifts, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, this day, that day. That money's coming out of the same pool of money, right? And streaming services. Most of us now have access to hundreds of stations, and maybe we don't watch most of them. All right. Making a plan. All right. We don't tend to plan our financial lives like a company plans its corporate life. Now, businesses know that plan's going to get altered, but you should go in with a plan. Short-term plan, 1 to 2 years out. Intermediate, plan 2 to 5 years. Let's say you plan on buying a home in a couple of years. That process needs to start a couple of years out, right? And long-term plans, 5 years, 10 years on out. Right? The investment and saving options change based on what the time frame is. Right? Then there's, beginning to invest for retirement, IRAs, 401ks, Roth IRAs, investment insurance products. There's a price to pay for waiting. Right? A person can start from age 20 and invest to age 30 and have the same amount of money saved at age 60 as someone who waited to age 30 and invested the same amount of money for 30 years. It's called the time value of money. And again, we're using the principle of a compound interest and how powerful that can be down the line for you. And we're just not understanding the power of that. In this day and age, you need to take care of your credit. Know what's going on with it. Know your FICO scores. There's 3 repositories: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You can get a copy of your credit report once a year from each of these repositories for free. You may have to pay for your score, which is a FICO score. FICO stands for Fair Isaac Company. Today, having a poor score will cost you when you go to borrow money. And today, a poor score can keep you from gaining employment. Today, a poor score can cost you in how much you have to pay as a premium for car insurance. So guard those scores carefully. And if your credit is, in the vernacular, jacked up, there are professionals that can help you start the process of doing the right things to get those scores where we like to see them. Having a will. Young people don't think they need a will. As soon as you start working, you probably need a will. As soon as you have children, you definitely need a will. If you own real estate, if you have a home, you definitely need a will. In addition to a will, you need a financial power of attorney, which I know has been discussed on this program before, and a healthcare power of attorney. And as I believe Ms. Norwood has mentioned, in previous episodes, up to 90% of African Americans don't have a will. So much money goes through our hands that we just don't understand. And that's why I'm in this business. Right? We're fantastic consumers. We're not quite as good at saving and investing and creating wealth. Right? So my charge is to keep more of our dollars in our own pocket as opposed to the banks and insurance companies and mortgage. We need mortgage companies. We need them. But the more we're educated, the better we can deal with them on a level playing field.
That's pretty awesome. I'm having technical difficulties over on my end. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Don't know if it's delayed.
Okay, no, it's not. So I switched to another.
I just lost your picture again. So until I get you back, the next thing I was going to cover is work with an advisor. The Philadelphia Eagles football coach has 20 coaches to help him do his thing. Doc Rivers, coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, has 4 to 6 coaches on his staff. The President of the United States has a cabinet of at least 15 members. And yet we try to do this financial planning for our lives, if we even get to planning, on our own. You should have a team. That's been discussed on previous episodes too. A tax person, possibly an attorney that you can reach out to that helps you make better personal and business decisions. An attorney that you can have documents reviewed for you before you sign on the dotted line. And at least one financial advisor. Most of us now are having to make decisions about our 401ks and we don't understand the stock market. That's a recipe for disaster. If you don't have a pension, that is too important to wait. It's too important to just do what everybody else seems to be doing. So finding trusted advisors, to me, is critical. It's critical. Then there's, preparing to buy a home. This is a real estate program, right? That process should start 2 years out with making sure your credit rating is where you need it to be. If you're in the low 500s in the FICO score or under that, you might not be able to earn it, but you'll buy that home. But giving yourself a 2-year window to fix any discrepancies, any errors with the experts that are out there, it can be done. Budgeting, again, is crucial. You're going to need to you should get pre-qualified. That makes you a better buyer, a better potential buyer. Well, to be qualified, you're going to need to know where the money's going, what's coming in, what's going out. So that's crucial, again, to the home buying process. Knowing in advance what ownership expenses there are. If you've been used to renting, there are some additional expenses that you may incur as a homeowner. Obviously mortgage, now you're paying real estate taxes. You have to pay homeowners insurance. And if you live in a community that has a homeowners association, that's another $50, $100, $200 a month expense. And work with a professional like Miss Clara Lyons-DeVaughn that can help you through that process. And she can also help you learn the different financial options, financing options you'll have in purchasing that home. Folks who own home acquire historically 80% more wealth than folks who rent. 80%. That's a staggering number. And then what I've kind of like segued my practice to, because I'm a baby boomer, I'm 66. There's 10,000 people a day for the next 15 years turning 65. 10,000 people a day times 365 days times 15 years. Do the math. Most do not know what to do with their 401ks. Can they retire? Can they afford to retire? And it's a scientific process. And retirement planning is all about income planning, not how big your stack of money is. Because too many folks may have a stack of money and are afraid to spend money because the number one fear of retirees is running out of money. We can relatively easily allay those fears, and it's a scientific process. You want to have guaranteed streams of income coming in retirement. There's not a stock, a bond, a mutual fund, an ETF, real estate, which I love. None of them are guaranteed streams of income. A pension, which most of us don't have these days, Social Security, which we still have. If you're younger, it's going to take longer to access it with a smaller benefit. Those are guaranteed streams of income. You can't outlive them. No matter what the stock market's doing, no matter who the president is, no matter what's going on, that money's coming in. So retirement planning is all about guaranteed streams of income. And in addition to a pension and Social Security, there's only a couple of places to go that can provide another guaranteed stream of income. And that would be annuities and certain forms of investment grade life insurance. And on the life insurance side, that income is tax-free. Participate in your company's 401k. 30% of people who have access to a 401k don't participate. And especially if your employer matches 50 cents on the dollar or a dollar on a dollar. Here's what that means. You give your employer, or you put $1 in your 401k, and the employer matches that dollar. That's 100% return on your money before you earn any interest. Apply that to the rule of 72. That's crazy not to participate in that. If your employer doesn't offer a 401k, start your own IRA, Roth IRA, investment grade life insurance. The earlier you get started, the less you'd have to save to get to a certain goal. Retirement planning can begin in your 20s. When my sons graduated from undergraduate school and from law school in their 20s, we began their planning for retirement. My oldest son is a patent attorney down in Washington, D.C. When he graduated from law school at age 27, I said, when do you think you want to do with your life? What's your long-term plan? He said, Dad, I think I want to be able to retire by the time I'm 50. I said, well, how much is that going to cost today in today's dollars? He said, maybe $100,000 a year. So I had to inflate that by 25 years. And we reverse engineered a plan for him so that he will have the option, knowing that life is going to get in the way and his plan will change along the way. But he's well on pace to be able to retire in his 50s if he chooses. A plan today will change 1 or 2 or 3 years from now, but you still need a plan. Determine what your retirement income goal is, and if what you're doing right now will get you there. And promise yourself not to touch it. Your retirement plans or your retirement investments are not put and take, what we used to call put and take accounts. If you put it in, take it out, it'll never grow. Now again, life gets in the way. Gotta do what you gotta do. This pandemic threw a lot of plans out of whack, big time. Understood. But you need to plan anyway, and you need to adjust. Right? Social Security. Know what your benefit is projected to be. because a big piece of retirement income planning is that Social Security piece. That's guaranteed income. Today, you can first access Social Security at age 62. You can let it grow till age 70. And every year you wait after age 62, it grows by 8% a year. Right? You can go to ss.gov, open an account, and download what your projected Social Security benefit will be. Word is an 800 number, 800-772-1213. Right? And it'll give you three numbers. Here's based on your income to date. Here's what your age 62 income should be. Here's what your age 66 or 67 income will be. And here's what will be at age 70. It's a piece of the planning process. If you have a job that does provide you, if you're blessed to have a pension, find out what the projected benefit will be. Now, obviously, the younger you are, the less accurate it will be, but it's still a piece of the planning process. Once you get within 10 years of when you think you want to transition, you need to really get serious about seeing if you're on track to meet your goals. And now that gives you time to make adjustments. But the earlier you get started, the easier it will be to meet any goal you have in mind. Most people don't know that married folks have 81 different ways they can access Social Security. 81. And Social Security won't tell you about it. Again, acquiring a team to help you maximize the benefit you work your whole life for is important. Is important. Knowing what your investment options are all along the way. Not just doing what the established financial community wants you to do. That's why they own America with our dollars. We need them. But you want to deal with them on an equal basis. So again, I'll repeat myself, acquire that team. You have the attorney piece. Make sure you have your will in place. And if you're blessed enough to acquire significant assets, you may want to look into a trust to keep your assets out of probate. If you have children, if you own real estate, it's a sin not to have a will, in my estimation. So unless there are questions, that's kind of what I had on my mind to go over today. I'm sure Miss Lyons may have some questions for me, and there may be some folks, watching this that may have some questions. I'm open. I'm good.
Awesome. That was phenomenal information, Mr. Sharpe. And I apologize from the technical difficulties on my end. I'm in a different location today, but our audience was able to hear you and see you clearly. So they got all of those wonderful nuggets that you put together. If people have questions, they can put them in the chat. And if we don't get to them today, we will definitely have Mr. Sharpe respond to them, and you'll be able to see them in the chat thread, either on Facebook or on YouTube. I just want to thank everyone who tuned in today. We hope that you found something of value in the information, and it is so important to start planning for your future today. It really is. Start planning for your future today, and many people don't get that, and they start planning later. But even if it's later, yes, even if this connection is crazy, I'm in the but even if it's later. So I just want to thank you for tuning into Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays. We broadcast live every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can catch us for the next broadcast. And we are in Financial Literacy Month. So do something that helps you save, earn, invest, and plan for the future. Mr. Sharpe, how can people get in touch with you if they want
Sure.
to utilize your services?
Sure. If they have any questions about anything, if I've touched a nerve anywhere, my home office number is area code 856-638-5814. My cell phone's always on. It's area code 856-905-6073. I have a website. It's Daniel Sharpe, SHARPE annuityboss.net. And they could, access some information and request a consultation. And so those are the ways that can be contacted.
Awesome. Awesome. And if you could, when you go back out to Facebook, type all of that information in the communications thread as well. I normally would do that, but my connection today has been so spotty. I'm afraid to add anything else, but thank everyone who tuned in today. Join us again next Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and or YouTube live. And you can always watch the replay. So my name is Clara Lyons-DeVaughn. I'm the broker owner of Lyonsview Realty. I really appreciate our guest today, Mr. Dan Sharpe of Sharpe Financial. And definitely reach out to Mr. Sharpe. He is a wealth of information, and he will be able to assist you in planning today for your future tomorrow. Have a great, thank you, Ms. Tanya, for putting Dan's phone number in the chat. If you can put the other information, that would be great as well. So I want to thank you all for tuning in today. And until next time, keep living your best life.
Everyone have a